Thursday, October 19th, market analysis standard. Good morning. I start out with stock market indexes, and I'll start out with the E-mini Christmas futures contract. Now, we all know by this point, we had a major bullish engulfing ER buy signal on October 6th in most indexes and a lot of sectors. And so far, I'm claiming that is the October low. I realize that 2 days earlier, but still in October, on October 4th, on Wednesday, a couple of weeks ago, we did have the lowest low. But that Friday, October 6th low is super close to the same price. So I'm using the date of 10/6. Now, yesterday we broke into new low ground for approximately 6-7 previous days. Normally a little bit bearish. Closed below previous lows on the futures contract. Today, we've gone down a little bit more early and then popped back up and made new highs and then gone down and made new lows again. And now we're back to higher on the day by a modest amount. I like what I see. This is obviously shaking the tree or a washout. A lot of volatility. That happens frequently at turning points. So I'm expecting this to be a turning point back up. I don't want to go back down to today's lows. I don't want to close anywhere near close to today's lows. If that happens, I'll have to be very careful about what happens next, because it really is stretching my expectations about the minor downside correction, which I called for. But that was about as low as I'd like to go. Maybe even a hair lower, but so far it's come back nicely. Next chart is the spider 1-minute chart. Ladies and gentlemen, we had a slightly higher opening this morning on the S&P spider at 6:30 California time. Then the market proceeded to go down and make its low for the day around 8:30 California time, which is right now at 10:11 in the morning. From that low, we went all the way up and made new highs for the day. Part of the rally was a 3-point rally in 3 minutes, obviously caused by some sort of news, more likely than not. A little follow through, and then all of a sudden, in about 10, 11, 12 minutes, it went down 6 points and has made the low of the day. And look where we are now, 2 points higher, relatively close to the high of the day. If we print out, let's say 433 or higher while I'm still making this YouTube, that'll be a new high for the day and be very encouraging. Let's take the other side of the coin. I can put up with the close around today's lows. I really don't want to see it below today's lows. What we have so far, 427.75. That would be dangerous. Next chart is the DIA 1 minute, and I'm going to jump to the spider daily. There's your October 6th, October low. I got a little green arrow there, of course. Almost in support, not quite, from an oversold condition. And one of my viewers did point out to me, and thank you, that we were testing the 200-day Dow Jones long-term moving average, 200-day moving average, which from a long-term investor point of view, investors like to watch, and traders too. I just normally don't watch moving averages at all. I frankly know that they're late by design, and 200-day late moving average is way late for turning points like I like to catch with my strategy, the ER signals, and we sold the high of the damn rally at July 27th. Have we bought almost the low of the move after that October 6th? Yes, ER1 always gets long or short whenever there's green or red. We always have a protective stop in, period, always, always, always. And so those trades that don't work out, a couple of them back here, this one actually did for a day or so. That one pretty much did not. we are stopped out pretty quickly and lost a little money. But it's October 16th, for example, 13th, excuse me, of 2022, when the market finished a bear market and started a bull market. Those are the signals that I have developed a strategy to reveal and automatically trade. Next chart, QQQs. No great signal. Well, we got a buy signal on October 13th of 22 at the bottom of the bear market. And it turns out it was the head of a head and shoulder bottom also. Not terribly unusual. Plus, we got the top of the market on November 22nd in the QQQs for the bearish engulfing. Unfortunately, nothing last July 27th, just overbought in resistance, and no signals lately. But I'm expecting these markets to turn around and start to rally, probably from today. Next, NASDAQ futures contract, the December futures contract. Same kind of story here. Support area tested, did not get oversold, nowhere near overbought or oversold. So I don't have that to go off of, just a little bit of support. Next chart, DIA, buy at the bottom, sell at the top, a buy signal at the bottom, sell signals near the top. That's what we love. Okay, same kind of story here, but it's holding up a lot better. We didn't go down and make new lows for a couple of weeks last day or two. We only made new lows for the last few days on the Dow Jones Industrial DIA ETF. So higher on the day right now by a point. And if we start to make new highs across the board before the close, we could end up with a bullish engulfing Japanese candlestick bullish signal. Now, I'm not going to get any green because we weren't oversold, so I got the green at the bottom. I mean, then that's good enough as long as it continues to work. Next chart, Russell 2000, green almost at the low again. Love it. We've come down very close to the long-term fail-safe original sell stop. So we haven't made lower lows, but it came close. And we're really at the moment down just a hair, 13 ticks. So I think we're finished with the indexes. Yes, I am. Let's go to the October low workspace. And this was my idealistic point in time in price on the date of October 16th. And I wanted it to be down at 406 or 7. We didn't get there. I got down to 20, 420-ish. And it was on October 6th. So I was approximately a week early for the low and about 13 points too high. So not even close. But it is a turning point in October. That was the main reason for outlining in green the whole calendar month of October, excuse me, and trying to pinpoint the exact low. Remember, we did have a head and shoulder that was working great and did come down to halfway or a little bit more of the minimum downside objective until finally on October 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 2 weeks ago, we turned around. That's it. As far as I'm concerned, that's it, the October lows. Now, I'm going to go to futures. We start with the E-mini from a different perspective. Major support area was tested, and we bounced off of it almost this morning again. Not quite getting to it, but yeah, close. Again, this reversal is in progress. I hope it closes very strong, stronger than where it is right now would be great. Okay. Next chart is going to be the NASDAQ. Same thing, different perspective. We've got something like a downward slanting channel or wedge. Pennant has a bullish line across the bottom going up and a bearish one across the top going down, and comes to a point basically going flat over time. But if you pull the end of it on the right side down, you end up with a bearish trend line, which is a bearish support line underneath the lows. but it doesn't go down as fast an angle as the line across the top. So it does come to a point, but everything slants a bit down. And that's what we got here. Normally patterns that are downward slanted break out to the upside. And that's what I'm expecting. So if we start to make highs higher than last week, we'll be at the breakout point in a day or two and on the verge of another significant leg to the upside, which already started, of course, on October 6th. Next chart. We have a bond futures charts. Bonds have made new lows, but they're getting oversold again. By the way, this green line for 6 months was a trade from an ER3 new short sell signal on April 12th with a trailing yellow down stop until we finally got hit a week ago. I wish I was still short, but that was one whopping great trade. And if I had chosen to, I could have changed the way that the STS is moving and slowed it down a little bit more in order to try to miss this rally high, and then I'd still be short. But the STS wouldn't be, coming down quite as quickly. That's the smart trailing stop. Anyway, great trade. Now, oversold, probably going to bounce. I think this market is developing a long-term bottom. I started saying that months ago, frankly. In fact, I can tell you it was last summer, and that didn't work. But the fact that we've been so oversold, drastically oversold, the worst in a year or more oversold recently, and we're getting divergence, new lows in prices, now oversold again, but not a new low in the indicator. That's your divergence. Leads me to believe there could be something happening here of importance. I'd love to see this thing turn around and rally higher than yesterday's high. I would get a green bullish engulfing, which I'd love to get. Same thing goes for the 10-year notes. Oversold, divergence, possible long-term bottom, and on the way up, by the way, and it will be on the way up sooner or later, you would expect the 10-year notes to come up a little faster, quicker, better, etc. Next chart. Crude. Higher lows, higher highs since summer, spring. Trend is turning up. Trend is your friend. So I've got to go with a test of the highs of the move here, 93, 94, coming up in a week or two. Next. We're still short on natural gas. We sold the opening on October 12th. It was above the offer, which was sitting there before the opening at around 3.340. And again, we got short at about 3.386, give or take a tick or two. And we are now down to 2.98. This is doing just great. Better than I originally expected. I'm looking now for another test of this support area. I hope we're still short. This is automated, remember, and I just let it do what it wants to do. Next chart. Heating oil. I'm not sure if this is topping out or not. I really don't want to say too much. Next chart. Gold buy signal on the bottom. Again on the lows. Again on the low of a small rally. Didn't work out. The high of the rally sell signal. Precious metals have been great to us this year. This signal was profoundly better than I expected it to be. Originally, I thought it was going to rally up to about 2009, 10, 20. We've got a current tick of 1,974 and change. And we're still long. And our current stop is approximately 1950. Automatically. Next chart. This is the trade I just showed you on the daily data chart. This is a 6-minute chart, so I can squeeze in the beginning of the trade way back on the bottom left here. That's the entrance as it began an entry, and off and running it went. Our trailing stop almost got hit, and again almost got hit. We missed by probably just a tick or two. So we're still in the trade, still got to stop. It's making new highs. Next chart. Silver, well, that didn't go well. Good. Bought the bottom. Sold the top again. Bought the bottom. Sold the top. I'm saying to the exact day. Bought almost the low day. Sold almost the high day. And doggone it, we didn't get a buy signal on this last significant low. Can't have it every time. I think this rally is going to come up some more. You know what we did get? Platinum. The low day. ER1 enters the trade. We are now starting to come back up. We are not out of the trade. We just missed our stop by a little bit and now higher on the day. I'd love this thing to close as strong as it can get. The sooner it gets above yesterday's high, the better. Yesterday's high was the high of an outside down day, a bearish engulfing candlestick, but it was not an ER sell signal because we were not overbought. So now I like the way it's working. The lows so far on minor 2 or 3 or 4 day dips have been higher than each other. And I think we're about to make new highs. Next, platinum on the same trade, but different inputs shows us an entry and an ER1 on the way to a outside up day key reversal. Bought it. Almost never had a loss on this trade. Just a little bit here for a few minutes. And then a new high ground, which caused our stop to come up a lot. And we got stopped out with a very nice profit. Took about 24 hours. Next chart. We've got high-grade copper. Support is now resistance. Yesterday's high was right into this resistance area, and I'll pull that to the right a little bit for everybody. And now it's trying it again. I don't think this is a bottom. There doesn't seem to be anything here that tells me that this market is trying to bottom out. A little bit of divergence, not too dramatic. No signals, almost one on October 6th, almost, not quite. We'll see what happens here. I think it's going to turn down and make new lows. Soybeans, we got the bottom. It's got a new high since a week ago when we got in. And the outside up day, remember, every time you see green or red, we're short. And that one didn't work out. And we're long from that signal way back there and got stopped out there. Fantastic longer term trade. The system is geared for both scalping with ER1 and ER3 signals and entries. It's also geared for position trades that'll hold the trade as long as the stop does not get hit. Days, weeks, months, as long as the stop doesn't get hit. And the stop continues to work in your favor for various reasons over time. So this is an ER trade that we're still long, and we have a new high and a new high close. Now working our way above the resistance area that I thought was going to stop the move up, since we had oversold conditions and a new low ground for quite a while already. We're doing awfully good here, a little better than I expected. Next stop to the upside could frankly be easily up to 1410. That's quite a bit of a move still, quite a bit. Next chart, bean oil. Here's an interesting situation. I think this is the shoulder on this head and shoulder top. The head is a double top, the second high of which we did get a bearish engulfing ER sell signal. And we're out of it now, a great longer term trade off of the last part of the head of the formation. This is the last shoulder high. Unfortunately, it's got a bullish engulfing, and legitimately so, but it wasn't a good signal. It lost a little bit of money very quickly, frankly, within 1 day or less. So a long time ago, we were out of that, and that one, and that one. 3 in a row I haven't seen for a very long time losing trades. But looky here. We got a buy signal. We have 1, 2 days up very nicely, very substantially. Plenty of room for profit potential. And now because of the head and shoulder top formation, which overrules. It's a bigger formation, a longer period of time, a lot more developing. The bullish or bearish engulfings, so they are a sign of a market turn, absolutely, like that second high on the head, but not necessarily a long-term trade. So that's over. And now I'm looking for new lows for the trend because of the head and shoulder. Next chart. Very sharp rally. Almost in soybean meal, a buy signal at the bottom, but not quite. If it would have gotten a few ticks higher above the high of the previous day, and on October 5th, it just barely failed to have a green, which would have been a great one, a signal. All we had was oversold conditions and testing support. And now look at this. It's overbought within about a week and a half in a resistance area. And I expect it to top out. In fact, I have to say right where it is now, 423.50. Looks like a relatively idealistic price for it to turn right back down. Resistance several times at that area, at least 4, 5, 6 I got. Yep, I think this is it. Let's see how close I get. Next, corn. A rally at resistance, a little bit above the top of the resistance area, but not much. So we're basically still there. And I think it's going to turn right back down again immediately. And what about wheat? Same thing for wheat, in fact, at around a little bit of resistance. There's a chance it could come up a little bit more. And I think it's going to turn back down again also. So meat, cattle. I've been a little bit shy in talking about cattle because I'm not getting what I like, which is a sell signal on the top, sell signal on the top, sell signal on the top, sell signal almost on the top, sell signal almost on the top, and a buy signal almost on the bottom. So I'm not going to say anything. Although I won't. Next chart, hogs. Bias is down. Support is being broken. A rally today did not hold, and we're back to lower on the day. And all we have to do is close below today's low, which is going to be below the previous day and the previous day. And we should be on our way down to the next significant break low, which I would not be surprised to be 52 or 53. That's pretty big. We're at 67 3/4. Next chart. OJ, bearish engulfing yesterday. First time I've seen a sell signal for a while. I had to speak up that it looks like this market could be topping out. We did rally this morning. We are still higher than I'd like because we are short at about 383.05. Right now, the high of the morning is 386.65, but our stop is 87.05. So we came pretty close to getting stopped out, but we did not get stopped out. A little uncomfortable, totally. I need to have this thing going south ASAP. I want it to close below today's low, which was a little bit lower than the signal day yesterday, as soon as it can. If you're brave and you think the signal is going to work in the end, this represents an entry price that is extremely low risk. Use the same stop. Next chart. Cocoa. Okay, what do we do here? All right, this is very interesting. Remember the head and shoulder outlined about a week or two ago, and here is the expectation as far as the timing is concerned and approximate price levels concerned. So far, based on the closing prices or where the current quote is, it's right there. It just sort of popped up a little bit more than I expected yesterday, and definitely a little bit more than I expected today. But it didn't ruin the pattern completely, and it is actually lower on the day right now by a tick or two. What happens if we drop off to below yesterday's lows? I will have a huge bearish red ER sell signal, but it has to get below yesterday's lows and close lower on the day. We haven't got that yet. Maybe. Next chart. Coffee. extending itself too much, too quick, too fast, overbought, substantially so. 86 is pretty high up there. In a resistance area, it's about ready to turn down. Coffee, sugar, this chart's sugar. Not sure. I'm going to let it alone. Obviously, the trend is up. That would be my expectation. So I'm going to have to say I'm looking for new highs very soon. Next, cotton the rag. Got oversold 2 days in a row, bouncing a little bit today. Inside trading range. Doji doesn't mean too much, but it's still at the moment slightly lower than where it closed yesterday. Now, previous recent lows have been broken. Trend is long-term down, but look at this huge sideways trading range that we have had now for one full year, almost a full year. Yeah, bottomed out at the end of October, but it was the beginning of November when it started to go into this trading range from 74 to approximately 90, 88, 90. I'm looking for lower levels, but it's a big sideways thing. Next, we're back to the E-mini, slightly higher on the day. I'll let you go in a second. Let's check the short-term charts. The Russell dipping down in the last hour or two slightly. We're testing some minor lows in the last 10 minutes. Well, I want to see this thing start running up above 432.50, and then it'll probably make new highs for the day and be doing what I wanted it to do. But it's slipping slowly. A little bit concerned. You guys have a great day. Tomorrow's Friday, TGIF, and I'll go into sectors and maybe a little crypto and, of course, forex. See you tomorrow.